joined by Kabelo Selekolo. Yeah, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm good, my man. How's it?
So, we recently heard that you're from Rustenburg.
Yes, I'm
And
from
you-
Rustenburg originally. Yeah.
You have something interesting for us today. Can you briefly just tell us about your background, who Kabelo is, what you are about, briefly, family history and experience?
Yeah. So Kabelo is I would say a boy from Rustenburg. Pretty much not straight from Rustenburg. I'm just from a village outside Rustenburg, about 30 minutes away. So I was born in a village called Mulorwe, but I was raised like in Leda, about 30 minutes away from Mulorwe. So I was raised by my aunt and my uncle. I started preschool there, until I matriculated. And then I moved on to, I came this side in Gauteng in Tshwane, and that's when I studied multimedia. Yeah, so that's how I found myself around here in Gauteng.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, it was just a brief from Kabelo, and guys, note, Kabelo is a local brand owner, which is Mswenko, which is something we'll be getting into real quick. But before we get into Mswenko in the lifestyle, just tell us about your experience of local brands. What is a local brand and why is it important to you?
Look, a local brand is obviously, like, it's self-explanatory. I think local brand is a brand that is built in South Africa. So there are so many brands that are actually born here, but in terms of like manufactured, they manufactured overseas. There's so many brands that are proudly South African, and I think there's a lot of education that has to happen regarding this tag of proudly South African, because a lot of people think that when a brand is proudly South African, it should like be literally be manufactured here. So you take, for an example, brands like Apple, they most of the parts are manufactured in China, for example, but are assembled in America. So do we call that what? Proudly American? Yes, it's proudly American because it's a brand that's built in America, right? So why local brands are important? Because it shows that we are evolving as people or as entrepreneurs. Because most of the time we have been consumers, so it shows that people now are getting into manufacturing and creating their own products. So it's important that people support local brands as well, so that we can circulate money around the country itself and make the economy a little bit stronger than what it is now.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's a great motive to join the fashion industry.
Yeah.
So would you say before you gave back to Mswenko, were you like fashion orientated, or was something you were looking into, like a different business, maybe a shop?
Yeah, so I think everyone is somehow subconsciously fashion oriented.
Okay.
Because we are conscious of what we want to wear, even though sometimes we don't necessarily have all the pieces that we want in terms of clothes. So I remember my first job in 2014. I actually, every single month, I would buy myself a sneaker. So to some extent, I was fashion oriented.
Yeah.
So I think since then, I've always wanted to create something of myself, of mine, because taking back to my history again, at home we used to sell like cold drinks, we used to sell the snack and all those kind of things. And at some point in my life, I sold textbooks in varsity, I sold watches. So I've been reselling in my life, right?
Yeah.
And I had to also sit and just think about what is it that I can own that is mine. And having seen, people that look like me, having been in the fashion industry, particularly in the footwear industry, I had to dig in and do more research and see where the opportunities are. And I thought coming up with a footwear product will really it's a business opportunity for me.
That's great. That's very great. So can you tell us this briefly? What is Mswenko and how did the name come about?
Okay, let me start by Mswenko is an African expression for the word swag.
Yeah.
So basically it refers to a person's style,
Okay.
a person's attitude, and your general demeanor as a person. So I came up, this name has always existed for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily come up with it, but I wanted a name that people can resonate with. So this is the name that has been in existence, but it was never really been, I would say, encapsulated into a product, that people can really be proud of. So I wanted a name that is familiar with people, a name that's a little bit short and it's easy to pronounce and people can resonate with.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So before branching out into Mswenko, before we designed Mswenko, we were like, okay, let's talk about Mswenko. You used to be a photographer.
Yeah.
Just tell us about that, Jane. What happened?
Actually, the photography journey comes from 2004. It started in 2004. We were going on a school trip, and my auntie gave me a family camera to make some money, during a school trip. And since then, I actually used it continuously the camera to make money, even outside, the school trip, like in school and all those kind of things. So that's where the journey basically started. And I think I stopped in December of that year in 2004, and then I bought my first professional camera in 2014. I think it's 10 years apart, right?
Yeah.
And since then, I've been like really training myself, and professionally, I started, to really find clients in 2017. So the business is still in existence. We have quite reputable clients as well. We have worked for APSA, we have worked at Joburg Zoos and other public events that we cater for. So yeah, it's been great.
Nice. So talking about building a client base, how did you move your first sneaker? Because we all know that it's very hard as a 100% owned business for you to put it out there in the market and push it. So how did you move your first sneaker?
Look, I always say this: you have to start where you are and start with what you have.
Nice.
So what I have, or what I have at least right now, is my family and my friends.
Okay.
So I told them about this way before we even launched, because this is a brand that started in 2021, but we only launched now in October 18. So I told them about this dream of mine, and they were the first people to actually buy from me, which are my friends and my family. So that's how I managed to actually, I guess, raise funds in that regard, to make my first sales, so that I can, elevate on marketing and other things. Yeah. So I used my friends and my family.
Yeah. So if you took something home today, I would say it's this: use yourself. Be around the people who are around. Try it there and see if it will work.
Yeah.
And then take it out there, because word of mouth is very important.
It's very important.
It's very important. Okay, the slogan.
Yeah.
Be different. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So wow. I think it dates back again to where I'm coming from. So I was a kid really that I would say was different in his own right. In a sense of I was a very introverted person, and as an introverted child, you are naturally different because you don't think like other kids, you don't think like other people, So actually, this saying, using this slogan for my sneaker, is that way of encouraging people to be different in a way that they want to. Because I used to feel like I was weird growing up. It's only now that I've grown up, I realized that I was not actually weird. That's who I am. That's my personality. I think the fact that I think differently from those people doesn't make me, unrealistic or, I'm just different in that way. So I want to encourage people through my sneakers that be different. Don't be scared to be different, and don't succumb to status quo.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about critics.
Critics.
Criticism is everywhere.
Yeah.
So have you received any criticism, any struggles pushing this the brand?
Okay, let's start with struggles. So, struggles started during the year, like I just told you that we started in last year.
Yeah.
But we only launched now. So the biggest struggle along the journey of, research and manufacturing was the finances.
Okay.
We could not necessarily get enough funds because my initial idea was to at least manufacture about 100 sneakers, due to finances. But then manufacturers, they push back and say no, we have a minimum order quantity, those kind of things, so we cannot do 100. So I had to find more funds, do personal loans, and ask my family members to help so that I can manufacture more. So there was the struggle. In terms of the critics, really, I'd say the feedback has been positive to some extent so far. Except that there would obviously be that one person on social media who would say, "Hey, you guys are copying each other, whatsoever." So there's just those one or two comments, but really the positive is, the feedback is very much positive, and that's our main focus. And not to say that we don't welcome criticism, because feedback is very important, positive or not positive. The fact that you are being criticized, it shows that there's a market for something, you know what I mean? You have to really listen to that criticism and take it to heart if need be. If it's aligned with the vision, take it to heart and implement it if need be. Yes, but so that's it.
Okay. So would you say, is it safe to say this is 100% black-owned business?
This is 100% black-owned business. I'm the founder at the moment. I own 100% of it. And I'm hoping to grow it, and I'm not saying I'm not open to partners out there, because I would rather own 1% of the company that makes billions than 100% of a company that doesn't make anything. You know what I mean? So I'm business minded like that. So I'm open to
different avenues.
Yes, different avenues for sure.
I understand. So, are there any collaborations, or is this still the foundation phase? Is this still the base?
Yeah, so collaborations that we have done now, we haven't necessarily collaborated with big people per se. However, we do have one or two people that really repost our stuff. But then, like this past week, actually, we have collaborated with a couple of popular people. You can call them influencers on social media. So they've been helping us to push our brand.
Right. Hey, you're flowing so well, man. I'm getting interested. This is fire, man.
Yeah.
This looks amazing.
Thanks.
It looks like a sock. Is it a sock, or is it? What is this, man? Just tell us about it.
So you know what? It's open for the way you want to interpret it. Some can call it a sock, but really it's a okay. This material is a fly knit, and then the sole itself is EVA material. So what EVA does, it really reacts to pressure, so to speak. It has a certain technology where it doesn't matter of your weight. If let's say you are a sort of a heavy-weighted person, it really cushions in your feet based on your weight as well, and it's also light in material. So a pair of, let's say, size 8, it weighs around 1 kg. So a pair of size 4, it weighs around like half of that. So its weight is quite light, and the reason why we did it that way, we want people to really be comfortable in them and be able to walk or jog if need be. So it's very much suitable for casual clothing and sports.
So for anyone who's interested in getting it, can you just tell them where they can find the brand?
Okay, so Mswenko Footwear is available online on www.mswenko.africa. That's our website. You can order there, and we are also available on social media. Facebook is Mswenko Footwear, and then Twitter and Instagram is Mswenko_Africa.
Now there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sam, and I was joined by the incredible Kabelo, the multi-business oriented man. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.